Hello and welcome to CloudFolks HUB. My name is Bhavesh Atara. You are learning Elastic Container Service. As you know then, if you want to host your application inside ECS, you have to set up service. Now, when we are creating service, we have so many options available. We need to understand all these options step by step. In this particular video, I am going to explain you about Service Auto Scaling option of Create Service. What is this Service Auto Scaling? And do you know that in AWS ECS, we have two types of auto scaling. We are going to discuss about both of this. So let's start. I'm going to explain you auto scaling in ECS using this particular mind map. But before I'm going to explain you auto scaling in ECS, let's understand what is auto scaling is. Auto scaling means automatically adding or removing resources based on the current demand. It means when demand is high, auto scaling add more resources. When demand is low, auto scaling remove extra resources. It is like same as we already understood during our EC2 journey. The way your application always has capacity to run smoothly while also saving cost by not running idle resources. If your application resource requirement is high, we are going to add resources automatically, and if the demand is low, we are actually going to remove resources automatically. Now, in ECS, we have two types of auto scaling. First, we have cluster auto scaling, and another one, we have service auto scaling. What we are doing right now, we are going to compare both of them, so you will get crystal clear understanding of these two options. Here I have 6 points of comparison. First of all, let's understand cluster auto scaling. So what it scale? Number of EC2 instances in your ECS cluster. Let's say that I'm going to create new cluster. Okay, so let me click on create cluster. Now, when we are going to create cluster, we have two infrastructure options available. One, AWS Fargate, and another one is Amazon EC2. Now, Amazon Fargate is a serverless, so we do not need to worry about capacity. But when we are going to use EC2 instance, we have requirement to set up capacity of the server, and we want dynamic capacity. So, when you are going to add EC2 infrastructure, or when you are going to add EC2 instance as a container host, here we have this auto scaling group. Now this is actually known as cluster auto scaling group. It is going to increase number of EC2 instance in your cluster according to the demand, right? Here we have this particular option, auto scaling group. We need to create auto scaling group, and it is going to increase and decrease capacity according to this ASG. Now, this is all about EC2 instance level scaling, right? If I'm going to talk about service auto scaling, what it scale? Number of tasks inside your ECS service. Let's say that I am launching my service. Now, according to traffic, I want to increase number of tasks. According to low traffic, I want to decrease this as well. So in this case, I have to select auto scaling from here while I am creating service. Here, we are going to add and remove service, or we can say that add and remove task according to the traffic requirement, right? Okay. Now, how it works? Uses capacity provider plus auto scaling group to add and remove EC2 instances depending on the task placement need. If you are running more tasks, to run this task, we need compute power, so we can increase EC2 instance. Now, when we are going to set up cluster auto scaling, here we have ASG, and according to this ASG, we are actually adding and removing number of EC2 instance. If I am going to talk about service auto scaling, here we are using cloud watch metric, CPU, memory, ALB requests to decide how many tasks should run. So look at this. Here when you are going to scale your service, we have scaling policy, and based on scaling policy, we can increase and decrease number of service, or we can say number of tasks, right? Now applies to only EC2 launch type. Now see, let's say that you are creating cluster and now you are not going to choose Amazon EC2 instance. You are just going to use Fargate. Now in the Fargate, it is a serverless. So AWS ECS will increase and decrease capacity according to our requirement. So we do not need to set up auto scaling. Cluster level auto scaling is only useful if you are going to use Amazon EC2 instances as a container host. But if I'm going to talk about service auto scaling, it is applicable for Fargate and it is also applicable for EC2. Why? Because you are launching tasks. You want to increase number of tasks according to your application requirement. Now, you don't care about this task is actually launched in Fargate or EC2. You want to increase number of tasks. That's all. So, for service auto scaling, applicable to both Fargate and EC2. Now, boundaries. Managed by ASG, minimum maximum desired capacity. See, when you are going to add resources dynamically, we have to set boundaries. Means maximum number of instances that you can add. So if you look at over here, when we are going to set up a cluster and we have this particular option to add Amazon EC2 instance as an infrastructure, we have auto scaling option. Here we are creating auto scaling group, and look at this, we have this minimum and maximum capacity. So this is boundary. Let's say that here we have 5. It means it is not going to create more than 5 EC2 instances in any situation, right? If I'm going to talk about boundaries related to the service auto scaling, we have the same options available. Let's say that I'm going to the create service. Here we have auto scaling group, and here we have minimum number of tasks. Means I want, let's say that 2 tasks running at all the time, and maximum number of tasks, let's say that 10. So it is going to run maximum 10 tasks, no more than this. So this is a kind of boundary we have for service auto scaling, right? Now, policies. In the cluster auto scaling, if I'm going to talk about policy, ECS Cluster Auto Scaling uses managed scaling inside capacity provider to automatically adjust your EC2 auto scaling group. You don't need to manually set CPU memory threshold like you do in a service auto scaling. ECS calculate it for you. See, let's say that I am actually creating cluster.
Sorry to interrupt you. I know you guys are enjoying our video a lot, because our final ultimate goal is Solution Architect Certification exam. To reach the destination, we required full videos. Path number 1, our 6-in-1 program. Our 6-in-1 program include all prerequisite skills which is needed as a cloud engineer. It include 24/7 support, lifetime update, section-wise practice test, full course practice test with tips and tricks by Bhavesh Atara, how to do exam preparation course, weekly lifetime live session with Bhavesh Atara, and 6 AWS project with documents. Path number 2, you can enroll by paying 499 and get Hindi and English, both the languages, videos of AWS. The choice is yours how to create your success story by choosing best one. Best of luck. Thank you.